Good evening and happy April Fool's Day. Tonight we're going to be looking at my old Pokemon Red and Blue strategy guide and tracing the maps of Kanto inside of it. Now, normally on April Fool's Day I do something very silly, usually centered around a meme or some popular topic. Last year I let my brother-in-law decide what to do and he went wild. But there really hasn't been anything in the past few months that is worth celebrating or acknowledging. So I figured I'm just going to look at my Pokemon maps. Although the Afroman court case ended like 2 days ago from me filming this. And if that had happened like 3 weeks ago, that's absolutely what this video would have been about. But it just happened, and it's like I had already like planned all this. So maybe later I'll talk about maybe next year I'll see it. But anyway, tonight we're just gonna talk about Pokemon. So let me give you a bit of backstory. So I'm an old person. I am currently 40 years old. Pokemon came to the US when I think I was 11 or 12, around there. My sister and I were very excited for it. It was advertised in all the kids' magazines and we were very hyped. We watched the very first episode of the anime, which for whatever reason they showed the SS Anna episode, which is like episode like 15 and 20. And then the day after that they showed episode 1. Very weird. I don't know. We were very confused. But then the actual games came out a few weeks after that. And we were at GameStop on day 1 debating over whether to get red or blue. And I believe we picked blue. I believe so. This isn't the same case. This case is from customgamecases.com, not sponsored, but this is the actual Game Boy cartridge. And we realized after a day of playing, me and my sister, that there was only one save file on this and we couldn't both play. So the next day, we went back to GameStop. We got the red version, which I believe was mine. And my sister took that one. And then we picked up the Prima guide. Now, back in the day, they used to make strategy guides for video games, which is a book on how to play, all the secrets, all the things you need to know. You can take notes in it and stuff. They don't make these anymore, but back then they were almost necessary in order to play some games. And I collected every Pokemon game that came out. I collected the strategy guide until they stopped making it. I think Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was the last one that I have. This one's popping out. There you go. So if you can't tell, I love Pokemon. I have since day 1, since Pokemon was in the US. Loved this game. I was so obsessed with it. We were so upset that we only had one Game Boy. And we had no one else that played it, so we had no one to trade to get like Machamp. What else? There's like a couple that only evolve with trading. But yeah, we played the heck out of these games over and over again. I brought out some Pokemon. This is my sister's favorite, Mewtwo. Both her and her husband's favorites are Gen 1, so I thought I'd highlight them. She loves Mewtwo. My brother-in-law's favorite is actually Marowak, but they don't make a lot of Marowak merch, so he's got this cute little Cubone Funko Pop. Very cute. They also don't make a lot of merch of my favorite Pokemon, which is Darmanitan. This is all that I've found. I think there's a new Japanese plush, but it's pretty much the same dimensions as this guy, so there's no point in getting him. You can see he's really dirty because I take him everywhere. I used to just keep him in my purse. It's a little Darmanitan. He's my favorite. I love fire types. I'm a fire trainer. I love fire types. So anyway, that being said, let's explore the Kanto region back during Red and Blue. And look how absolutely 90s this is. How I became a Pokemaniac from the author. How to become a master Pokemon trainer. This shows you all the Pokemon that you can only find in Red and Blue. It's another thing, we couldn't trade, so my sister and I could never have a complete Pokédex. Because we couldn't trade between. Let's see. There's how to play, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to skip through walk through the world of Pokemon. Here's the cheat way. If you don't want to read all the details, you could just follow the little cliff notes here. We bought this because, what was it? The forest. Oh man. It was the forest at the very beginning, I thought. It was at the forest. I swear it was like Viridian Forest. I don't see it on here. Where my Pokemon got poisoned and I was crying. I was destroyed because the game would go like when your Pokemon's poisoned, and I was distraught. I couldn't handle it. So we start off here in Pallet Town. Here's Pallet Town. So number 1 is your house. This is where you, the character, lives. You get to name yourself in the game, whatever you want. Of course, I was always Jen or Jennifer. That's my real name, by the way. Hello. Number 4, here's your rival's house. And in this game, and I believe that the game after that, they made your rival just absolutely awful. Just a terrible, terrible human being. They were the smell you later, like they were the worst. They've changed that in Pokemon games. Now it's a friendly rivalry. It's your friends that you play against, basically. But I kind of miss having like an antagonist that was at your level. And then this is the Pokemon Lab, where Professor Oak works and manages all of his Pokemon studies. You can see the lab here. He's got 3 Pokemon there. Here's Route 1. So this is the way to Pallet Town. And you can see all of this green here is wild grass, and Pokemon live in the wild grass. You can see there's a trainer right there, probably looking for some Pokemon. So you would come, let me show you. Here's Pallet Town. You would go north here. You can see the water here. That's important later. That goes to the ocean. You would go up through the grass here. There's a little sign there that gives you hints on how to play the game. You have to cut through the grass here. These are walls, and you can only hop over the walls if you're heading down. So if you were coming back to Pallet Town, you can avoid the grass, but not if you're going up. You have to go through the grass. So we go up through here, through the wild grass, through this area. You fight your first trainer here, up here, and up into Viridian City. Here is Viridian City. So here is the Pokemon Center. This is where you heal your Pokemon. And then this is the Pokemart. In the more recent games, they've combined these into one building, a big Pokemon Center, which is pretty cool. But back in the day, it was 2 separate buildings. Pokemon Center is where you heal your Pokemon, and Pokemart is where you buy items. Let's see what was for sale in this one. You could buy Pokeballs, antidotes, paralyze heals, burn heals, and potions. But the potions are sold out, unfortunately, this shop. Here's what it looks like. You can see little refrigerators, some snacks or something, and supplies. And there's the cashier. Here's the Pokemon Center. There's Nurse Joy up there, but she's not called Nurse Joy in the games. All of like the minor characters like Officer Jenny and all that, they're not called that in these games. Those are created for the anime. But there's Nurse Joy and the machines that heal your Pokemon. Over here in Viridian City, you enter Route 22, and that goes to the Pokemon League. You can catch some of the wild Pokemon around here, I believe. You can get Nidoran over here, male and female. But if you go too far, you're going to hit the Pokemon League, and it won't let you go that far, I believe, if I recall. Here's the Viridian City Gym, which is actually the last gym you go to. I believe at this point in the game, when you get there, they don't let you in unless you have all the other gym badges. And this is Giovanni's gym. Here's Giovanni. He is an unsavory character, and his gym is a big maze. his Pokemon that he has are Rhyhorn, Dugtrio, Nidoqueen, Nidoking, and Rhydon. His Rhydon is level 50. Just pretty much the highest that trainers can be. You see there's Viridian Forest. Trainers in these games only go up to level 50, but you can go up to level 100 and just sail through the game. Alright, so now we're going to head north again. See the little houses here and forests. It's because we're going to Viridian Forest, which is where I had that meltdown when I first played this game the first day that I had it. Now, you can see these buildings here and here, which I always just called them way stations. They're just random buildings. There's one right here too on this side of the forest. You can't get to that area yet in the game. You can see that there is a shrub right here. You need the HM cut in order to get past here. So HMs are moves that your Pokemon learn that do things outside of battle. So cut will cut down trees. There's rock smash. There's flash. There's a couple of HMs. They've also gotten rid of HMs in the current games because they're absolutely awful. Pokemon can only learn 4 moves, and if one of those moves is an HM, the HMs are never that good in battle. Rock Smash is like the only good one. But yeah, so normally we would have this is so bad to call them like HM slaves, where you'd have one Pokemon that could learn like 2 or 3 HMs. I forget. I remember I think Bibarel. What, Gen 2? Yeah, Bidoof could learn a lot of HMs. Usually the normal types can learn HMs. Oh, hidden machines. That's what HM stands for. Hidden machines. There's also technical machines, which are just attacks you can use in battle. And see, here you can find TM Fissure over here. But, yeah, you need the HM cuts to get through here and go to this building here, number 4. What's in number 4? They have HM Flash inside of this building. So yeah, I always called them little way stations. They never say in the game what these buildings are supposed to be. They're just kind of there in between areas, and you walk through them and they're just little big buildings. I don't know. There's someone's house right here on the outskirts of the forest. They will trade you a Mr. Mime for an Abra, which is a pretty good deal. That's pretty good. So here's Viridian Forest, which we'll look at next, and then over here is the Diglett's Cave, which will link to somewhere else in the map. We'll see later where that goes, the cave made by Digletts. Here's Viridian Forest. Viridian Forest is also a big maze. There's lots of items scattered throughout, and lots of grass. Yeah, what it was, I remember now. I was crying because my Pokemon was poisoned, and they don't do this anymore. But if your Pokemon was poisoned in battle, every step you took, they would lose 1 HP until they just fainted. They don't die, right? They faint. And I was distraught because I was lost in this maze and couldn't figure out how to get back to the Pokemon Center. And I was so upset. I was so sad. I had to put the game down for a bit. But yeah. There's lots of items hidden around, so you really have to explore everywhere. There's also lots of trainers here in the woods. So let's figure out the right path to go. So you go up here. You're going to have to make a right. Up this path. Over here. Oh, I guess there's a shortcut. You could just go this way without going around all the trees. Down here. And then up to escape. That is how you get out of Viridian Forest. But as you can see, there's lots of other little areas where you could get stuck and lost. What's great about Viridian Forest, though, is that you can catch Pikachu in Viridian Forest. Okay, there's a note here. Calling all Pikachu fans. Here's your chance to finally own a Pikachu. You won't find one very often in these woods, but when you do, you should try to capture it. Electric Pokemon like Pikachu are great against both water and flight Pokemon and make great companions for Charmanders and Squirtles. You can also catch Weedle, Kakunas, and Caterpies and Metapods. So to the north, if we look at this map, you go through this way station here and up into Pewter City. Here's Pewter City. Here's the is that the Poke? Let me see. Number 1, that's I can't see. That's the Pokemon Center. That's the Pokemart. Yeah, visit the Pokemart number 1. So Pokemon Center's here. Pokemart is over here. Usually they put the Pokemon Center close to the entrance. Looks like they have a little park over here. That's pretty cool. There's no trainers in the cities, but you can talk to people. Sometimes they give you items, and sometimes they'll facilitate trades. That's pretty cool. And building number 3, that is the Pewter Museum of Science. And over here is the Research Center. You have to know cut in order to get there, apparently. You have to go this way, cut down this tree to get to the Research Center. But this is the museum. Remember, it costs money to get in. Yeah, it costs 50p, which is not a lot, but at the start of the game, you know, if you spent all your money on potions and Pokeballs, that's pretty bad. But yeah, you can get Aerodactyl at the research station, at least the fossil for it, which you can eventually revive the Aerodactyl and have an Aerodactyl. Pretty cool. I thought you could also get Kabuto there, but maybe I'm thinking of something else. This is the Pewter City Gym. The Pewter City Gym leader is Brock. You can see his gym is pretty straightforward. He is a rock trainer, if the name doesn't give it away. He has Geodude and Onix, which Geodude is my fandom name. Hello, Geodudes. I hope no one's like, I wonder if she knows that Geodudes are Pokemon. If she calls her, like, viewers Geodudes. I am very aware. Very, very, very aware. Let's move on to Route 3, which is to the east. Make sure you can see to the east of Pewter City. Everywhere else is a dead end. It's all mountains. This is a bit of a maze around here. There are lots of trainers over here. It's a good idea if you're playing this game for the first time to come over here and fight these guys before you hit up the gym to level up your Pokemon, especially if you have a Squirtle, because then he's going to plow right through Brock pretty easily. There's some grass here. Looks like you can get Pidgeyspearos and Jigglypuffs here. Search the long grass for a Jigglypuff. These cute little balls of fluff and big eyes are extremely rare and can't be found in the wild anywhere else. So you have to get them on this route. If you're into magical and mysterious Pokemon, make this a part of your collection without fail. Oh, there's a guy in this Pokemon Center. See the Pokemon Center outside the entrance to Mount Moon? He says, I'll sell you a Magikarp for 500p. Magikarp are the worst Pokemon. They evolve into one of the best, which is one of the strategies for having one, but they are very plentiful in other parts of the world, so don't fall for his scam. Don't fall for it. But yes, if we go through the grass here, go up there, and then up. There's a nice Pokemon Center to heal up before you enter Mount Moon. Now here are the various floors of Mount Moon. As you can see, there are lots of items around. And the mountain caves are kind of a pain because everywhere is technically wild grass. The entire area is full of rock-type Pokemon. Let's see. B1, B2, A, E, C. I see. So we want to go this way. A takes you to B. Oh, there's A. A goes to B, and then there's B on B2. It looks like you can get a good item there. And then you have to go all the way back. It's dead end. So now let's go to C. C takes you to this corridor to D, and D takes you to another good item and a trainer battle. So then you have to go all the way back. And then we go to E. E will take you down to F. There's F up here. You go down these stairs, trainer battle. Go all the way around, and again, there's wild Pokemon everywhere. You can't avoid them unless you have a repel. Get a good item up here. You have to go up and around to G. And then G is right here, and there's the exits to Mount Moon. That's why there's a Pokemon Center right outside. Also, if you have escape rope, you can leave anywhere, wherever you are, and hop back to the last Pokemon Center you visited. Otherwise, you have to walk all the way back through all those Pokemon if your Pokemon faint. You can get a Moonstone there. That'll evolve your Jigglypuff to a Wigglytuff. Oops, sorry, that's my squeaky chair, I promise. You can find Clefairies here. You need a Moonstone to evolve them to Clefable. There's also Zubats and Geodudes and Parises inside. So we leave Mount Moon and we head out to Route 4, which is another little mazy area. Looks like you have to hop down to get out of that area, either into this wild grass, then you come out through there, or you can just skip the wild grass and go over. Here they have Rattatas, Spearows, Ekans, and Sand Shrews. And what's the item? It's a TM04 Whirlwind. There's a trainer up there. And we're heading over to Cerulean City. You can see the water there. Looks like there's a cave right there, but looks like we access that at another part of the game. Here's Cerulean City. So we just came from Route 4, so we're coming this way. That is indeed a cave over there, but it looks like you need HM Swim to get there. So what do we have? We have a house here with a trader. They'll trade you a Jinx for a Poliwhirl, which is a pretty good deal. Absolutely. This is a bike shop, which bicycles obviously make you go a lot faster than if you're on foot. But they are selling bicycles for 1,000,000 P, and that's almost impossible to get in this game. So that was very upsetting when I first saw that when I was a preteen. We've got the Pokemart over here. There's the Pokemon Center. Let's see, Building 4 is the Cerulean City Gym, which we'll talk about in a second. That's what it looks like. You can see it's got platform over water because it is a water type gym. And there is a house here with a Team Rocket member inside. Looks like this guy has HM Dig. There's also an unknown dungeon. Mystery, mystery, mystery. It says you're dying to know how to get there, right? Aren't you? Well, you have to wait until you get HM3 and then surf, not swim. Did I say swim? I meant surf. Then go to the other side of Nugget Bridge and surf around. And yeah, they don't let you win unless you've beaten the game. This is the post game where you can get Mew. This is Misty. She is the gym leader in Cerulean City. And she has Staryu and Starmie. I laugh because those are like not... I guess Starmie can be pretty tough, but I don't know. There's more formidable water types to fight. If you go north of Cerulean City, you gotta go through this gauntlet of trainers. Again, good idea to get them before you fight Misty, just in case you want to level up a bit. There's some more wild grass over here, and then you enter this complex here, get through this mazy area to get to Bill's house. Bill invented the Pokemon PCs, which you can digitally store your Pokemon in. And Bill's pretty cool. If we head south of Cerulean City, if you hop all the way down here, you enter this house here, which doesn't say what it is. But oh, isn't that the nursery? I want to say that's the nursery. But it doesn't say. But anyway, you come down this path, and there is this way station has an underground passage to Route 6. This way station building goes to Saffron City, but I'm pretty sure you can't enter that part in the game yet. You have to go through the passage. Let's see if I remember that correctly. Yes. Let's see. Oh, that's it. The guard there is thirsty and wants some water. And they won't let you pass until you bring them a soda pop or a bottle of water. If you journey, you'll be able to... Oh yeah, the daycare center. I was right. So if you leave a Pokemon there, they'll raise it for you and level it up for you, so you don't have to level it up yourself. Pokemon breeding didn't exist yet. Otherwise, you could leave to a male and female Pokemon and they would lay an egg. So this is where the passage leads you out. We we see this path here going down to Vermilion City. Can't remember why this building stops you. But that building clearly stops you from going to Saffron City. But we're going down the route to Vermilion City. I think you might have been able to get a fishing pole in Cerulean City. And you can cast a fishing pole in the water and fish for Pokemon. Usually you get Magikarp. Here's Vermilion City. Oh, here's where you get fishing poles. Never mind. This fishing guru will give you an old fishing rod. Although it doesn't work very well, you can still catch plenty of Magikarp with it. This guy has 2 brothers who are also handing out poles. So thank you, old man in that house. It was always worth in this game to go into every house and talk to everybody, because you never knew who was going to give you something or trade or battle, you know. That was why this book came in handy like crazy, because that way I didn't have to, you know. So also you had to check every trash can in every house in case you found like Pokeballs inside. Looks like there's construction happening in this part of the city. Over here is the Pokemart. It's the Pokemon Center up here. Building number 3 is the Pokemon Fan Club. And I believe, oh, you can get a bike voucher there. I was about to say, I think you can rename your Pokemon there, but that must be somewhere else. Because you can give your Pokemon a nickname when you catch them, and you can't change it unless you find the one person who will let you change your Pokemon's nickname. This is a house that's offering a trade inside. They'll give you a Farfetch'd for a Spearow. Again, very good deal. Spearow are very common. Farfetch'd are not. Just a random house there. And then this is the Vermilion City Gym, which is an electric type gym. This is the dock that takes you to the SS Anne. And this way goes to Route 11 and the Diglett's Cave. Let's look at Surge, a Viridian City Gym. He's the one that has the dubious backstory of mentioning the war, which is never brought up in canon anywhere else. And there's a lot of fan theories about the war. Like, you as the main character, you just have a mom. So the fan theory is that your dad died in the war. But yeah, it's Lieutenant Surge. He has Voltorb, Pikachu, and Raichu. Then you head over to the SS Anne. Do they have a picture of the SS Anne? Oh, here it is. There's the SS Anne. And on site is, if I remember, a lot of, I think Team Rocket, but also just trainers. You can see you enter here and there's a bunch of cabins. Almost everyone in here will fight you. And you go into every single room. There's items everywhere. There's the captain's room, the mess hall, the upper deck here, and the bow. Yeah, the captain is seasick, and he'll give you a gem cut. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at this. Look at Past Me Fixed This. There is a typo here that said Route 11, but it was actually for, hope you can see the SS Anne, so I scratched that out and my pencil wrote SS Anne. This list is things you'll find in SS Anne, apparently. Apparently. Interesting. Here's Route 11, so you come this way from Vermilion City. It looks like the path is fenced in some places, but some places it is not. So you can go into wild grass over there. There are lots of trainers hiding out in the grass nonetheless to fight you. Then you go, oh, look at this big open area here. Lots of open grass to explore and find Pokemon. And then you go to this way station to go to Route 12. What can you find in Route 11? Spearows, Arbok, Sandshrew, and Drowsy. Drowsy would be pretty good. You should have at least one psychic or someone who knows a psychic move and a fighting move or a fighting type. So let's see. How did we get here? This is Route 9. Route 9 is by Cerulean City. Now that you have cut, you can take this route to the rock tunnel in Lavender Town. Let's go back to Cerulean City. Let's see where Route 9 was. This way. That's the way to Route 9. Route 5 is the way we went. Route 24. Actually, I think Route 24 is how you get to the... I don't remember. Anyway, we'll find out. So, this way, Route 9. You have to hop down here. I guess you have to have cuts to get through to here. And there's another mazy area all throughout here. Let's see. Go up this way. Go down. There's more grass. There's some water. So once you have surf, you can just swim this area. But you come down here. There's a Pokemon Center. And there's a rock tunnel. Oh, you have to swim to be able to get to here, which I think is the electrical station, if I remember. Then you go to the rock tunnel. So now let's explore the rock tunnel. And again, this area is all wild grass. There's no avoiding it unless you have a rappel. So here's the entrance. It's where you come in. You come down this way to A. A will take you here. You have to come around to B. B, come down here to C. C to go all the way to D. It would be absolutely aggravating if you got that far. I think you also need flash here. Oh yeah, sure is dark in here. Yeah, you have to have the HM flash in order to explore this area. Someone has to hopefully have a Pikachu by that point and you can teach him flash. Or any other electric type. What other electric type can you have by this point? I don't know. You go to D, and then D will take you to the exit. Oops, there goes the game. Alright, there's the rock tunnel. You can go hop this way, or you can go this way and head into Lavender Town. Here's Lavender Town. Lavender Town is pretty infamous in Pokemon lore. You can see here's the, I believe it's called the Pokemon Tower. This is a huge graveyard inside. It's a memorial / graveyard and it's haunted by ghost Pokemon. And you best believe the very first time I walked into Lavender Town and that theme song played, I got chills down my spine. If you've never heard the original Lavender Town theme song, it's a little eerie. It gives me a little bit. This and the Sims 1 burglar sound give me straight up PTSD. Transports me back instantly. There was a meme / rumor that some kids in Japan were like driven insane by the Lavender Town song because it had subliminal messaging. That's not true, but it's just that creepy of a song. It's really, really upsetting. Here's the Pokemon Center. Here's the Pokemart. There's some houses here. What's happening in these houses? Oh, that's the name reader. So yeah, you can get your Pokemon renamed there. And community service. Mr. Fuji's abandoned Pokemon house is a community-run service headed by the delightful Mr. Fuji. Unfortunately, he's being held at the top of the Pokemon Tower. If you help him out, he might surrender his most prized possession to you. So yeah, the Pokemon Tower is pretty intense, but you can't go up there yet because it's haunted. So let's head down Route 8. We're going this way, Route 8. So here's Lavender Town. We're going to come through here and head up this way. There's underground passage to Route 7. That's pretty cool. How do you get to this grass? I guess you can just step over this, but you have to have cuts to get to this grass. What's in this grass? Does it say anywhere? Surely it says somewhere. Route 8. There we go. It has Pidgey, Mankey, Arbok, Growlithe, Meowth, Sandshrew, and Vulpix. I loved Vulpix as a kid. Loved it. Probably my favorite Gen 1, to be honest, is Vulpix. This way station will take you into Saffron City, which, if you can't tell, is the city at like the center of the map. So here's the underground route. Take you to Route 7. Can't get into Saffron City yet, but you can head towards Celadon City. Here's Celadon City. This is the Celadon Mansion. You'll find a solitary room with a Pokeball inside. Inside is a very rare Pokemon indeed, an Eevee. Which Eevee is cool because it doesn't evolve unless you have a stone for it. Fire Stone will turn it into Flareon, Water Stone to Vaporeon, and an Electric Stone, something, will turn it into a Jolteon. So depending what type you want, you probably should get Vaporeon, to be honest. Best Gen 1 evolution. Best evolution is Espeon and Umbreon, but that's in a later gen. Here's a department store where you can buy all of these things. Let's see what we can get. You can get Great Balls, Super Potions, Revive, Super Repel, Antidote, Burn Heal, Ice Heal, Awakening, Paralyze Heal, TM1 Mega Punch, TM2 Razor Wind, TM5 Mega Kick, TM7 Horn Drill, TM9 Takedown, which I think gives you damage. I never did those. TM17 Submission, TM32 Double Team, TM33 Reflect, and TM37 Egg Bomb. Pretty sure only Execute can learn that. Maybe a few others. You can also buy on the 4th floor a Pokédoll, Firestone, Leafstone, Thunderstone, and Waterstone. That's what they're called. I forgot Leafstone. You can get... I just blanked. I can see it in my head. Leafeon. Oh my gosh. Leafeon. You can make a Leafeon. Or a Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon. Vaporeon's still the best. On the next floor, you can get a Dire Hit, Guard Spec, X Accuracy, X Attack, X Defend, X Speed, X Special, Calcium, Carbose, Iron, and Protein. These are all things that you give your Pokemon one time and it ups their stats. These are things you use in battle to make them battle a little bit better. You can also get Fresh Water, Soda Pop, and Lemonade, which just heal HP for your Pokemon, but like we saw, that one guard is very thirsty. You could give them a drink. Make sure to buy one if you haven't got one already. That looks like the gym. Let's see over here. Let's say there's the gym. Care for a drink? That's a restaurant. That's right. Coin exchange, because there's a game corner. Yes. So this is the gym. This is the game corner, where you can play slots, I believe it was. And that's the coin center to exchange money. Yeah, you can play slots for a while or check out the back of the store. What's that rocket doing there? I don't think I ever won anything in the slot machine, if I recall. So here is the gym leader, Celadon City. This is Erica. And she has plant type. She looks very psychic, doesn't she? She is a plant type. She has Victory Bell, Tangela, and Vileplume. I used to call it Tangela, like Angela. It had Tangela. And when I got one, I named it Angela because it's Tangela. Anyway. Celadon City. Look at the game corner. Is a big maze. Maybe you can't play slots. I don't ever remember winning anything. If you could. Anyway, it's secretly a Team Rocket hideout, which is this criminal organization in the game. The real villains of the game. So let's see. You enter the first floor. Don't think that's the entrance though. P1F. Okay, so this is the actual slot machine game here. Then there's a secret back door where you come in through here, I guess. Stairs here, but you can explore everywhere. Fight Team Rocket members. You go down the stairs, and then there's this aggravating maze. That's right. So there's all of these little arrows that force you to travel a certain way, and you have to go a certain way. You go boom, 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 to take you out to where you need. It's very stressful, but there's lots of items and trainers throughout. Once you make it through, you hit a B, which takes you to this meeting room here, where you fight some Team members. You come this way. Oh no, you just go over here to C. C will take you to another maze where you can go down to D. D is over here. Lots of important items in here. Yeah, that looks like this door goes here. And there's Giovanni, if I recall. So now you can access the Pokemon Tower. That's right, you need a Silph scope in order to see the ghosts. So now you can enter the Pokemon Tower. So this is like an area where people are crying about their dead Pokemon. This Pokemon apparently can die. And you just go up the stairs. It's not much of a maze per se, but it is full of ghost type Pokemon. And there's trainers here who will fight you, even though you can see all the graves. Like, it's kind of inappropriate. And the ghost is of a Marowak. So this is my brother-in-law's favorite Pokemon, Marowak. The big scary ghost is a Marowak. Now you can get Ghastlies, Haunters, and Cubones there. And then we can enter Saffron City. So you can see Route 5 is this way. There's Route 7, Route 6, and Route 8. Saffron City is the big city, isn't it? Building number 1 is the Silph Co, Silph Company. It says you're going to have to come back here later. There's someone that'll stop you. Building number 2 is the gym. It is a fighting type gym. We'll talk about that in a bit. Oh, that's right. There's 2 different gyms. That's right. You have to... Because one is... Gosh, I don't remember. You can tell that I restarted this game a lot and played the opening over and over and over and would very rarely make it to the end. It's getting more and more vague as I go. I have not played this. I think I replayed it in like 2002, and that was it. And I babysat when Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, which is a remake of this game. So I watched the kids I sat play it. I taught them all about Pokemon. I got them into it. But yeah, it's been a while. So there's 2 gyms, but one of them is the real gym, right? Mr. Psychic is in house number 4. He'll give you the TM Psychic. Very useful for your psychic type. If you give this kid in house 5 a Pokédoll, he'll give you TM31 Mimic. In house... Was that it? That's it. Okay, the gyms. So the gym leader is Sabrina. She kind of looks like Jessie from Team Rocket. Oh, no, she is psychic. Oh my gosh, this isn't the fighting gym at all. Sorry, I'm reading this stuff. See, no, dedicated to fighting Pokemon. Instead of a badge, you get your choice. That was it. Okay, so this is the fighting dojo is what it is. That's what it is. Let me show you. The fighting dojo. So once you get past this gauntlet, you get a choice of getting a Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan, and you can only pick one. I always preferred Hitmonlee. Obviously named after Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, by the way, because they're fighting type. Then the actual gym is right here, and it is a psychic gym. She has Kadabra, Mr. Mime, Venomoth, and Alakazam. Here's what's in Silph Co. Headquarters for the Silph Co Team Rocket. So Silph Co Team Rocket has taken the building over in the hopes of finding the secret to their new product, the Master Ball. Master Ball's 100% catch rate, and you only get 1. So you enter, here's the nice lobby. They've got a big fountain, and the reception desk is empty. Making sure you can't see very much. There's the stairs. Is this where you could use the elevator in time? There's one game, it might have been the game after this, where like a huge building had an elevator, and once you've beaten everyone in the building, then you can use the elevator to get around. It was a game like that. So you take the stairs, and there's all these Team Rocket members everywhere. But then once you get down here, you find access B, which would be over here. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where is B? B. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is a maze. Wait, there's A, B. You know what? We just don't have the time. This will take you too long. It takes you all the way to here. You get to P by the time you reach the end. We don't have that kind of time. So south of Lavender Town, there's this big way station here. And you can't get past here because there is a Snorlax sleeping in the road. And Snorlax will only move if you have a Pokeflute. So once you get the Pokeflute, you can walk this way. Unless you have Surf, which you could probably just swim around. This long way is one big trainer maze. You can head to Route 11 that way. Or head down to Route 12. There's a house right here. Looks like you can get a fishing pole there. If you have cut, which you should by now, you can get an item there. And head down to Route 13. Here's Route 13. Looks like you come down here. I guess this way. Yep. Through this maze. There's so many mazes. There we go. That way. Fighting all these trainers here. Then you head down here. It's a long road. Got two kids on bicycles there that'll fight you. Go to Route 15. And come along here to Fuchsia City. I liked that all the towns are named after obscure colors. Route 16, there's a house here. I'm trying to see where it says what this is, but I don't. Okay, well there's that. It's an official guide, but I think very hastily made. Oh, there's the Snorlax. Snorlax there will stop you. Unless you have the Pokeflute. And there's lots of trainers on bicycles, and they're riding around, and you either have to avoid them, or if they make eye contact with you, you've got to fight them. Now here's a long bike path, right? It's incredibly steep hill. It's so steep once you start, you have a hard time stopping. Yeah, so it's a bike path, and you can't stop. You get stopped by trainers, but you go down the big long bike path. So it looks like Route 19, it says. Route 18. Route 18. You come down here, then you can go to this way station. There's a little patch here. They've got Spearows, Fearows, Rattatas, Raticates, and Doduos there. And you can fish for Tentacool, Crabby, Magikarp, and Goldeen. And you head to Fuchsia City. Here is Fuchsia City. So here's the gym. There's the Pokemon Center, right? This is going to take you to the Safari Zone, which we'll talk about in a second, surely. There's some houses over here. The Game Warden lives there. Maybe if you'll help him out, I'll teach you how to move that heavy boulder. And there's a fishing guru there that'll give you a super rod. The gym leader is Koga, poisonous and psychic Pokemon. He has coughing, muck, another coughing, and wheezing. They will poison your Pokemon. The Fuchsia City is how you get to the Safari Zone. Safari Zone is great. You have a limited amount of time to run around this map and find as many cool, rare Pokemon as you can. It's Area 1, Area 2, Area 3, and you just run around. You've limited time. I think you only have 500 seconds to find Pokemon, and you get some rare items too, like nuggets, which you sell for money, and max potions, all that kind of good stuff. Look at all the Pokemon you can catch here. You can get Nidoran male and female, along with Nidorina, Rhyhorn, Venonat, Execute, Parasect, Scyther, Pinsir, and Chansey. Let's see, Doduo. You can get Parasect, Kangaskhan, Scyther. You can get Venomoth and Chansey. And Tauros. Gosh, I thought there were more, but oh well. I thought there were others. I thought you could get like Dratini here, but maybe that was somewhere else. Maybe. By now you should have Surf, so you can swim in the water. So fuchsia cities. Up here you can go south, hit the ocean, and go to the Seafoam Islands here, where there are caves. And then you can head over to Cinnabar Island. So let's see what's in the Seafoam Caves. So you enter here, you come up to A. A will take you, and again, unless you have Repel, you're getting hit with Pokemon everywhere. It looks like you would encounter E next. This is very confusing. Anyway, you go around. Here's Cinnabar Island. There's the Pokemart on the sea. The Pokemon Center. This building is a Pokemon lab. And this is the Pokemon house. They say a certain key is found there. And here's the Cinnabar Island gym. Their leader is Blaine. And he has Growlithe, Ponyta, Rapidash, and Arcanine. He's a fire type, just like me. Here's the Pokemon house. This abandoned and rotting house is now only home to a bunch of poisonous and fire Pokemon and burglars. There's supposed to be a secret key somewhere around here. Look how big it is, my goodness. But look, you can get Coughing, Wheezing, Grimer, Ponyta, Growlithe, Vulpix, and Magmar. If you go north of Cinnabar Island, you head back to Pallet Town. See, I told you that would come back, wouldn't it? And this functions like the caves. You can get hit at any point with a wild Pokemon that's water type. Alright, so there's Viridian City. Remember Route 22? This will take you up to Route 23 and Victory Road. I was right. That takes you to Victory Road, which will take you to the Pokemon League. Victory Road is considered like the hard area where the trainers are for real this time. Traveling up Route 23, you go through the Victory Road Cave, which is always really intense in every game. In every game that they do a Victory Road, they don't always do it. Then you reach the Indigo Plateau, and you have to defeat the Elite Five. So we have Lorelei. She's a Water Master. She has Dugong, Cloyster, Slowbro, Jinx, and Lapras. Here's Bruno, a Ground and Fighting type Master. He has Onix, Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, Onix, and Machamp. Here is Agatha. She is a Ghost Master. She has Gengar, Golbat, Haunter, Arbok, and another Gengar at level 60. And then Lance, the Dragon type. Here we go. He has Gyarados, Dragonair again, Aerodactyl, and Dragonite. And then you fight your rival. Your rival's going to have Pidgeot, Alakazam, and Rhydon. They're level 60. Remember when I said they only go to level 50? Apparently I lied. They go up to the 60s. Platform 1, Platform 2, Platform 3. I don't remember that. So the game ends. But does it really? You still have lots of Pokemon to collect, and you haven't even explored the Unknown Dungeon. So here's that one random power plant. You can explore the power plant here. Here's the Unknown Dungeon, which you can see is another huge maze. And that's where, does it say there? Does it say you can catch Mew there? Oh, the bird trio is there. The Mewtwo. You read about him in Pokemon House in Cinnabar Island, and now he's staring you in the face. Yeah, Mewtwo is here. Where's Mewtwo? Where is Mewtwo? Mewtwo. He's up here. I believe that's him. But you can also get the legendary birds. So let me show you all the Pokemon. Here is the first Pokédex, the original 150. We'll read this through and then end this video. So we have Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise, Caterpie, Metapod, Butterfree, Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill, Pidgey. Oh yeah, you also had to be a boy. This is you. But I think it's the next game you can be a boy or a girl. We have Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, Rattata, Raticate, Spearow and Fearow, Ekans and Arbok. Do you look at their names? It's snake backwards and cobra backwards. Pikachu, Raichu, Sandshrew, Sandslash. Nidoran female evolves into Nidorina and Nidoqueen. Nidoran male evolves into Nidorino and Nidoking. We have Clefairy, Clefable, Vulpix, and Ninetales. Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff, Zubat, Golbat, Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume. Paris, Parasect, Venonat, Venomoth, Diglett, Dugtrio, Meowth, and Persian, Psyduck, Golduck, Mankey and Primeape, Growlithe and Arcanine, Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Poliwrath, Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam, Machop, Machoke, Machamp, Bellsprout, Weepinbell, and Victreebel. Tentacool, Tentacruel, Geodude, Graveler, Golem, Ponyta, Rapidash, Slowpoke, Slowbro, Magnemite, Magneton, no Magnezone yet, Farfetch'd, Doduo, Dodrio, Seal, Dugong, Grimer, and Muck, Shelter, Cloyster, Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar, Onyx, no Steelix yet, Drowsy, Hypno always creeped me out, Krabby, Kingler, Voltorb, Electrode, Execute, Executor, Cubone, Marowak, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Lickitung, Coughing, Wheezing, Rhyhorn, Rhydon, Chansey, Tangela, Kangaskhan, Horsey, Seadra, Goldeen, Seaking, Staryu, Starmie, Mr. Mime, Scyther, Jinx, Electabuzz, Magmar. These all have evolutions now, but not in Gen 1. Pinsir, Tauros, Magikarp and Gyarados, Lapras, Ditto. Here's Eevee, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon. Is there no Leafeon? I knew there wasn't a Leafeon in this. My goodness. Anyway, I knew there wasn't a Leafeon. I was right. Here's Porygon, Omanyte, Omastar, Kabuto, Kabutops, Aerodactyl, Snorlax. Here's the legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Uno, dos, tres. Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite, and Mewtwo. Don't think you could get Mew in this game, now that I think about it. There's a list of every skill that Pokemon can learn and what they do. All the items you can find and their different uses, TMs and HMs. And then here's a little checklist to check off what you got. And it's very faint because, gosh, this was from 97. You can kind of see that in this playthrough. I got Bulbasaur, Ivysaur. I got Caterpie and Metapod. Got Weedle, apparently. I got Rattata. It's very hard to see. It's very faint nowadays. I very vaguely remember playing that. And you can get Banjo and Kazooie playthrough as well. God, yeah. So this image here was the first ever promo image in North America. And it was probably Nickelodeon magazine, where they showed this image and they said the biggest hit in Japan is coming to America. It's Pokemon. And it described it a little bit, and I was in. I was like, I want this. I don't know what this is, but I love it. So yeah, this was the first Pokemon image I ever saw. Pretty cool. Copyright 95, 98. 98 was when this came out, I suppose. Let me see. 1998. Yeah. So yeah, that is the Prima Strategy Guide for Pokemon Red and Blue. Not Fire Red, just red. Just red. That's what it's called. They would remake them. They would do what, leaf green as well. Not at first. Not at first. Little cute. So, I hope you enjoyed this little interlude. Not nearly as silly as my other April Fools have been, but probably the most fun I've ever had on an April Fool's video, getting to nerd out over Pokemon. And if you enjoyed this, like I said, I've got strategy guides. I've got them all up to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so we can make this a yearly thing if you want. I definitely don't mind. But thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, if you clicked on this because it says Pokemon, I do geography maps, I do history, I look on Google Earth at different places around the world. We're going everywhere around the world in alphabetical order. Let me see, tomorrow's video will be in Taiwan, so if that interests you, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. Please also don't forget to give this a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts down below. Who's your favorite Pokemon? Who is your favorite? What's your favorite type? What's your favorite Pokemon game? I really, really enjoyed Scarlet and Violet a lot. I really loved it. I know a lot of people hated on it. I thought it was great. I had a great time playing Scarlet and Violet. I also really loved Sun and Moon, but I think my favorite was Black and White. I can't remember if it was Black 2 or White 2. That's what I got my Tormanid. That was my favorite. I believe it was Pokemon Black. I believe it was ages ago. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you found this relaxing. Probably not educational, but maybe you did. And I hope that you have a good